I'm drawn to the SIDUR RECHOVOT and NAHAR. It's something that's beyond my knowledge range. And I thank you very much, those of you who listen to this. It's surprising. I am learning it along with you to a certain extent, and I'm trying to see what it is the RASHASH is saying, because figuring out how he got to all of these illustrations, I can't do. I don't know that anybody can, but or maybe that's what we're looking for. We're trying to understand his language, where he's coming from. There is a sefer called Nekudas HaKesef by Rabbi Yecheskel Bing. I don't know if Rabbi Bing is still alive. Probably is older than me, so probably not in this world anymore. But at any rate, the Butz is a little bit of a hodgepodge, but it goes through every single part. There's a lot of mistakes in the text. But if you're patient, you can learn all of this. But it's 6 volumes. It's just a big undertaking. Yesterday I went too long, but what can I say? I want to come back and go through it again and again and again. And I'm sorry if this is difficult, but the fact is that this is what it takes for me to get a grasp. We got a whole sefer ahead of us here. Look what happened. We said that there's a concept here called magic words, and I use that phrase to let you know that the words are not isolated, but that things happen as a result of it. You say the word Baruch, which is a gematria of 228, and you start generating shaluvim, different kinds of combinations. So here we have the combination of zivug panimi, with the yud ke vav ke is inside. So we said there's 2 different kinds of zivugim. We saw this elsewhere. The zivug and the chitzonis and the chitzon, what they call zivug chitzon, and that's on the outside of sphero, the place is coming from, or zivug pnimi. They have different implications. So he shows how all of this happens when you say the word Baruch, and we went through all of these. Let me see if I got a new technique I can try here to make it easier for me to move this around. I don't know, probably not. But let's see. Here is the flow of light. Mochin, the Abba, Mochin to the male side, Mochin to the female side. Then we have here this combination of letters which have multiple hays in it. Comes to the gematria 232, which is 228 plus the name of Hashem. Maybe something else too. I know that is true, but maybe something else too. And then a shulov. We come then, again, another magic word, and you say the word Atah, and all of this happens. These are all Mochin. These are the Chesadim. These are the Gevuros. I don't know if you can see it down here. Chesadim and the Gevuros. It brings us down, and I'm not sure what exactly I'm learning from this, but this is a 42. This is a Pasha Damali and Amali Damali. And then you get to the word Havaya. Magic things happen in Havaya too. And he goes through the Pasha to the Mali and the Mali Damali. Same thing, the number 42, which is the agency or the catalyst of going upwards. All of this, though, is going downwards. As the going down is carrying it up, its upper, its upper catalyst along with it, which brings everything up, but embedded in that is also the ability, I don't know, that's what I know about it, to go back up again. This is all going down. We come to the word Elokeinu. This, once again, this is the 42, plus a wrapping of just the Milui itself. We come to this famous place, which we will see again in the RASHASH, is the concept of giving your life to God, that is, your soul to God. Because, look, we have Skilas, Sreifa, Hereg, and Henek, the 4 different misos at the base din. Each one of them corresponds to a different pagam that we perhaps have committed, and so therefore our guilt lays us down before God, and we offer, maybe it's our guilt, maybe it's not the guilt, I don't know, but I know this, that you're talking about 4 different parts of death. Why go through the 4? Why not just say one thing, say that we offer our souls? Why do we have to go through the 4 different types of death in the of the base din? I'm not sure. So I made a conclusion. I said, well, We're offering that because of sins. That's why I thought. Okay, so then we go over that, and then what happens is that when you do the Arba Mitzvahs based in, that makes that you're void, totally, completely, and totally void. That means you're dead. So that's we're imagining that actually we have nothing to give. This causes Mayim Nukvim, and we seek God to help to try to restore this. This is my thinking about it. And as a result of that, everything starts going up. All of the oros and all of the mochim, both from the male side, the female side, and here we have the right side, left side, with those combinations of 42s and their wrappings again. So this all goes up, everything is going up, and it causes yichudim. This is what we wanted to see yesterday. I didn't want it to take so long, but I did go in it. I went through it, and anybody that wants to learn it, it's there. These are what happens when this light reaches the Most High. The Most High is called either by the name of the Av Sag Da'ak. Now, Ak is the veil over the Ein Sof. It's the original in the form of a Rosh Toch Sof, eventually will be congealed into a physical human being. So ultimately, I'm thinking that Adam and Rishon and the sin between he and Chava by having yichud at the wrong time, being carried away, in my opinion, by their lusts because now they see each other and the attraction is overwhelming and they couldn't stop it. As a result of that, we became even more congealed into the physical form until we find ourselves now. Because what we're looking to do here is bring to the Most High all the shefa that we mentioned before that is going up. It goes to the Av Sag Da'ak, and this is the edge of our conceptual reality. What do I mean by that? Our minds are capable of seeing all kinds of things in different ways. All of us are different in the way that we see things. So that is our perspective on the world. So here we have the ability to picture in our mind the interface between the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, which is there is nothing for us to be able to conceptualize, and what was called the top, the yichud of the Av and the Sag Da'ak, which is the very tip of beyond that is nothing we can talk about. This produces a yichud. That yichud pours shefa out. That yichud brings you to a yichud at a lower level, which is the two opposites, the male and the female of olam atik. This is a zivug, and that causes a result of that shefa to come down. And there's a yichud of the ma ben de Erik Anpe, which causes a yichud of ma ben de Abba ve'ime Eloim, and then a yichud of ma ben de Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna. I didn't go into any other yichudim. It didn't come down lower, and that's what we see here. That's all I can do. I'm just your reporter here, trying to make sense out of something that was written. It's not hieroglyphics, chas v'shalom, but it's like that. It's a language that has to be learned. Now let's take a look. Well, maybe we should zoom out first. This is all done mechanically. I mean, I don't have a camera that I could press a button and it goes up nice. I got to do it by hand, and I got to be careful because it'll shut. If I do it too strong, it'll shut down the camera. Okay, so here we are. Let's take a look on the outside once again, because we're trying to learn as well as the language of the RASHASH, which is really needs a key, but we're trying to find it. Here we have what's in Kesser. From Kesser come out the oros, and these are the oros of Chachma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. This is this level of light, a very high place, and that light goes into. This is what we're seeing here, the mochi. So these are the all mochi, and along with this light are the 5 chesadim and the 5 gevuros, and all of them are menukad in their ways. And then we see that it goes also through the moch into the nuk. And once again, what do we have here? We have this generation of the right line, the generation of the left line. This is called Ab, Sag, and Ma. each of them can be made into a 42. And then a covering, I'm using the word covering. Nobody said here that this was a lavush, but it looks like everything is falling down into this. That came on the word asher. Okay, now we see similar. Now you say another word of the bracha. The word is asher. If nothing else, if we can't remember to do this, we can get an idea of the pattern, because the pattern is your prayer, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam. At that place you are offering your soul. This causes everything to go back up and then to reach to the Most High. It's called Mayim Nukvim, and as a result, a Shevat starts coming down. So let's see what he says when we say the word Asher. Yekavin lahamshech she'eris hamochim, because we said that the mochim go up to the higher places. The most choice part of that shefa, which is going upwards, remains in the most high place. In other words, for an atek, there's a certain part that remains about that shefa that came up, is going to stay and fortify atek. Atek is very complex. Yekavin lahamshech she'eris hamochim shehem osios de ma uben, which are the letters of ma uben. The yesod umalchus the yasos, down to the very bottom. Now, when he uses this word osios here, other places he talks about the 22 letters, and then there's 5 additional letters. So here he says, Yekavin lahamshech she'eris, the remnant, that is what's left over and didn't stay in the upper worlds. Shehem osios de ma'uben, which what are the things that are coming down now? They're the letters. The letters are the female side letters and the male side letters. They go down to the Yesod of Malchus and the Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna. They go all the way down. Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna is the parts of which actually feeds directly into Zeranpin. So when we say sometimes that Bina enters into Zeranpin, we're talking about this is an aspect, a parts of a sub. It's not a sub parts of. It's a parts of that is generated. It's a complete parts of the out of the Bina. Let's say the out of Bina, but its purpose is to be mashpia to Zeranpin. So ben the Yesod Malchus the Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna meluvashim betzalmei haberurim. Now we brought all of that up. Those are the Berur. Remember we went through the Rapach, the 4 different types of 72, which makes 288. Just reviewing it, 72. Then a combination of letters which produces a gematria of 73. And another combination that's for Sag, and then another kind of combination for Ma, which will bring you the number 71, and finally the Revu of Avaya, which is 72. They're just saying it out loud. Add up to 288. Those are the sparks of Kedusha that every time that we do this Arba Mises base, then we are bringing them back out, and that's what he's saying. So we said that Salmon is a lavush over the mochim. The Tzalmei, the Levushim, are the Berurim, Shalahem, Shekevar, Alo, V'nisaknu, that already have been elevated. We're clothed in that and rebuilt. So he said, V'yakave lahachser l'makomom. So here's the idea. This is your kavana. All of these lights, which we're talking about here, all of this, is to bring them back, the makomam, to the place that they originally came from. Let's see if we can read this and see this a little bit better. So he said, Hamochim sha'alo lamana, these are the same ones which you sacrificed your soul for, brought them up into man to Hashem for answers, for help. And now it's coming back down to the place that it came from. Lehei partsufi chagat dezer anpin. And where are they going? They're going to the partsufim of the chagat dezer anpin. Now remember, we've been talking about this. It's a little difficult to understand it. Is the chagat really represents their anpin? It's the chagat and the nai. The chagat is the middle partsuf. If you look at the partsufim, and we said there's a concept that's a way, I mentioned that Ak, for example, has a rosh, a toch, and a sof. So this is the original veiling of the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Everything has that same kind of situation. So, but they're called by different names, and so we have to learn the language of the RASHASH. The RASHASH calls this Chagat. Why? Because the Rosh is called Chabad, and the middle part, which is the torso, the body, is called Chagat, and then the legs and the reproductive organs are the Nai. So it's like a layered situation. You have Chabad on top of Chagat and Chagat on top of Nai, or you could say Chabad inside of Chagat, and Chagat and Nai is a Chabad Chagat now or now inside the Nai. So there's a different kinds of ways you can look at it, because it's not physical space. It's mental space. It's the space of your thoughts. So if you could go to this idea and you're seeing that there's some kind of form, something, he calls it light, so we'll call it light, call them oros. So, okay, that's what happens over here. Now we're going to look at the next page. The next page says, we're going to say that was the word asher. So we start the ball rolling. We start to bring everything back down to the place that originally oriented, that it really originally came from, in Atzilus. And we're to try to build it back up again. Then he says, when you say the word Kidshanim, now what we need to do over here is it's slightly, it's a different pattern. So first we see the Kesser. Kesser's in the middle line. We say the middle line splits, because the middle line has to have a relationship with the right line and its opposite, which is the left line. So there's a portion, you could see from the drawing, there's a portion that goes to the right and a portion that goes to the left. And the idea is to bring them together. But at any rate, this is Keser, Chochma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, and that's a Hod and Yesod. Now, this says, we'll get to it in a minute, and we'll see the same thing again. It's a duplication. So now we're talking about, and we're seeing this in other places. We're talking about the word Kiddushanu. So now you say the word Kiddushanu. We know that we were bringing the lights, including the Rapach, that is lights, and the Mochin, and everything, the Chasadim and the Gevuras and so on and so forth. We're bringing all of this back down to the place that they originally came from. So this says, when you say the word Kiddushanu, all of these lights that you see below us are flowing. What are the lights? Where do the lights come from? What kind of lights are they? What could we say about them? Now here the RASHASH does something very simple. When you say the word Kiddushanu, it's a mitzvah. It is a magic word that requires our kavanah. Yakavin the hamshich miyisod umalchus, so the very lowest elements of Yisrael Savatavona, of that parts of them. Once again, that's the parts of it goes into Zeranpin. The Hatzilus, we're going to have the Hamshech from that place, from the lowest part, the Lamed and the Mem, the Tzalmeh HaMochen, the Abba Ve'iba Ve'yasa. So not to get confused every time he says the word Tzalmeh. But these are Levushim. The Levushim, the Tzalam covers over the Mochin. And the Mochin are coming out of Abba Ve'ima and Yisrael Savatavuna. Im the Naranchi, the Chaya Shebechem. So why the Naranchi, the Chaya Shebechem? I don't know. They come along with the 5 sets of light, which are, once again, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechida, of the, let's say that's called that there's a master parts. If there's a Naranchi of the Naranchi, that's really what we're talking about. But if you look at the original, that is the first Naranchi, well, that's the Naranchi. It has 5 different oros, but the RASHASH focuses for again, we are trying to discover why. He's focusing it on the oros that are coming in which are represented by the name Lamed and Mem, that part of the Tselem. Now, that makes me try to think that I need to try to explain what this is about. I said that the Tselem is a concept that covers over the Mochi, which cover over the Oros. So let's go back and just try to put this back together again. From the Yesod and Malchus of Yasos, the Tzilos, you're going to bring down the Makifim. Now, that's the concept that Tselem, we said again, there are three, these are wrappings, right? There are three levels. There's one level that actually goes into Zeranpin, and this is called the Tzadi, the Tselem. But there are two other levels, which is the Lam and the Mem, the Tselem. I mean, I'm trying to, this is years of study, trying to recapitulate these ideas. For people maybe heard it, maybe didn't hear it, maybe just like the sound of it. That's really what we're looking for anyway. Because trying to understand the Ein Sof is nothing. So we have any way of communicating through sound or light or things we see on a lot of people that study Kabbalah with charts. The charts are very important. But I really mostly do it through sound. So see how they sound. We have a Lamed and a Mem, the Tselem also. So the Tselem turns out it's just not a covering. It's a covering with three different layers to it. One layer is actually the inside part. It goes into Zeranpin. The other two layers are called Makifim. They're too strong. The light is too strong. So this is the light inside of Bina. And let's try to focus on it a little bit more. He says, Alamed umem d'tzalme hamochim, where they're coming from, Ava ve'ima ve'yasos, they're coming as a livery into their anpin. And what do they have with them? They have the Naranchi, the complete set of lights, of a light set, which he calls Nechi. I said it well, I'm talking and I said the wrong thing. So the Lama, the Mem, the Tzelem, the Mochin, the Ava, the Ima, in other words, they're covering over the Mochin, the Ava, the Ima. There's one part of it that goes in to Zeranpin, and there's two parts that stay outside. Heim Naranchi, the Chaya, and they're the Naranchi from the original Naranchi, it's broken down to the Naranchi of a Naranchi, but the Chaya part. Now, my question is, I know that Chaya is the second, is a Makif, and it's the second highest level of the light of the Ein Sof. The highest level in this particular sun is the Mem D'Tzalim, which we're going to see. So the first thing he says is, Chachmos, the Mem, the Abba, Ve'ima, Ve'yasos. So these are the Chachmos here of the Mem D'Tzalim. That's the furthest away light. That's the most powerful of all the lights. We're bringing this back down. And then we have the Chachmos, the Lamed, the Tzelem, the Lamed, that Lamed part, which is another Makif, but it is closer to Zeranpin. This is coming from Abba Ve'ima Ve'yasos. And then you see it. That's it. Now we have two more of these to do. And we'll see all that out. And we'll follow that up on our next shiur.